Hi there. Real quick before we jump into the episode. If you enjoy this episode, or any of the other episodes, be sure to give us a follow or subscribe. It would also be great if you shared it with a friend, or better yet, left a review so others can know how awesome it is. Thanks so much. And now, the episode.
Hey there, press starters, and welcome to the Press Start Leadership Podcast, the podcast about game-changing leadership, teaching you how to get the most out of your product and development team and become the leader you were meant to be. Leadership coaching and training for the international game industry professional. Now, let me introduce you to your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Christopher Mifsud.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome back to another awesome edition of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. On this week's episode, we'll be discussing why gratitude matters in leadership for the video game industry. A reflection on appreciation, team effort, and leading with intention as one year ends and another begins. A season 4 reflection and gratitude. As the year draws to a close, there is a natural pause that happens, even in an industry that rarely slows down. Deadlines are still looming, builds still need testing, and inboxes are still full. But there is also a subtle shift in perspective. We start to look back at what we have made it through and forward to what is still ahead. This is the season where gratitude should take center stage, especially for leaders. In the video game industry, we often move from one challenge to the next without stopping to acknowledge the effort it took to get there. Teams push hard, they solve impossible problems, they adapt to shifting priorities, technical surprises, market pressures, and creative pivots. Leaders see the milestones, the roadmaps, and the results, but behind every deliverable is human effort. Late nights, tough conversations, compromises, persistence. Gratitude is easy to overlook when everything feels urgent. It can feel secondary to production, budgets, or performance. Sometimes it is treated as a seasonal gesture rather than a leadership practice. A quick thank you at the end of the year, a message in company channel, a post on social media. While these moments matter, gratitude deserves more attention than that. Over the years, I have learned that gratitude is not a soft skill or a nice to have. It is a leadership responsibility. It strengthens trust, reinforces morale, and reminds teams that their work and effort are seen. Gratitude does not slow down teams. It sustains them. This podcast is a reminder, both to myself and to fellow leaders, of the importance of showing gratitude. Not just during the holidays, but as a part of how we lead. It is a reflection on the year that has passed, the people who have made it possible, and how gratitude can shape the year ahead. Why gratitude matters in the video game industry. Game development is demanding in ways that are difficult to fully explain from the outside. It's a creative, technical, collaborative, and deeply personal. People care about what they're making. That care is what drives quality, but it is also what makes the work emotionally taxing. Teams face pressure from many directions. Creative ambition clashes with time and budget. Technology behaves in unexpected ways. Feedback loops can be brutal. External factors like platform changes, publisher demands, and market shifts add uncertainty constantly. Through all of this, people show up and do the work. Gratitude matters because it acknowledges that effort. It reminds people that their contribution has value beyond the immediate outcome. The cost of unrecognized effort. When effort goes unrecognized for long periods of time, even strong teams start to feel depleted. People may continue delivering, but something shifts internally. Motivations become transactional. Pride in the work fades. Burnout creeps in quietly. Leaders often assume that people know they are appreciated. In reality, most people need to hear it, and they need to hear it sincerely. What gratitude does for teams. Gratitude helps teams feel seen and valued, recover from difficult periods, stay engaged during the long development cycles, trust leadership intentions, feel safe taking creative risks, maintain pride in their craft. Gratitude reinforces the human connection between leaders and teams. It builds resilience, not through pressure, but through appreciation. Why gratitude gets deprioritized. In the game industry, leaders are often trained to focus on outcomes, shipping, revenue, performance, growth. Gratitude can feel secondary when there is always another problem to solve. The truth is that results and gratitude are not competing priorities. Gratitude supports results by keeping teams healthy and motivated enough to achieve them. Actionable steps to reframe gratitude as leadership work. Recognize effort as well as results. Not every meaningful contribution ends in a visible win. Acknowledge invisible work. Support roles and behind-the-scenes efforts matter deeply. Treat gratitude as a leadership habit, not a reaction, but a practice. Understand that appreciation fuels performance, is not a distraction from results. Model gratitude openly. Teams mirror what leaders value. Gratitude is not about lowering standards. It is about honoring the people meeting them. Gratitude as a leadership skill, not a seasonal gesture. It is easy to express gratitude during holidays or at the end of a successful project. It is harder and more meaningful to make gratitude part of how you lead every week of every year. Gratitude as a leadership skill means expressing appreciation consistently, authentically, and with intention. It means noticing effort even when outcomes fall short. It means thanking people not just for what they delivered, but for how they showed up. The difference between performative and authentic gratitude. Performative gratitude feels generic. It often sounds like, "Great job, everybody. Thanks for the hard work. Appreciate the effort." While not harmful, these statements rarely leave a lasting impact. Authentic gratitude is specific. It names the contribution and why it mattered. Thank you for stepping in to unblock the build last week. Save the team days of stress. I appreciate how you handled feedback during the review. It set a great tone for the team. Specific gratitude tells people they were seen. Why leaders struggle with consistency. Leaders are busy. They move from meeting to meeting. They carry pressure from above and below. Gratitude often falls off the list, not because leaders do not care, but because they are focused on the next problem. The irony is that gratitude helps prevent some of those problems by keeping teams engaged and aligned. Actual steps to build gratitude into leadership routines. Add gratitude to your weekly rhythm. Choose one moment each week to acknowledge someone's effort. Be specific. Name the behavior or contribution you are thankful for. Balance public and private appreciation. Some people value public recognition. Others prefer one-on-one thanks. Do not wait for perfection. Thank people for progress and persistence. Reflect on who you have not thanked recently. Silence can feel like neglect. Gratitude grows stronger when it becomes part of how you lead, not something you remember once a year. Reflecting on the year that has passed. The end of the year is a powerful moment for reflection. It is a chance to step back from daily urgency and look at the big picture. Gratitude plays a crucial role in that reflection. When leaders reflect only on what went wrong, the year feels heavy. When they reflect only on wins, they miss important lessons. Gratitude allows you a more balanced and honest review. Using gratitude to reframe challenges. Every year brings its share of difficulties, delays, cancellations, missed targets, tough decisions. Gratitude does not erase these realities, but it helps leaders see the growth that came from them. You can be grateful for lessons learned during failure, teams that stayed committed under pressure, adaptability during uncertainty, honest conversations that led to change, personal growth as a leader. Gratitude turns reflection into learning rather than regret. Creating space for team reflection. Teams benefit from reflecting together, especially when reflections includes appreciation. It helps close the year with a sense of shared experience rather than exhaustion. Actionable steps for year-end reflection with gratitude. Ask reflection questions that include appreciation. What are you proud of this year? Who helped you succeed? What did we overcome together? Hold your retrospective focus on effort, not just outcomes. Balance metrics with human experience. Document lessons learned with gratitude. Capture growth alongside challenges. Thank teams for specific moments during the year. Referencing shared experiences makes gratitude real. Reflect personally as a leader. Consider who supported you and how you can acknowledge them. Reflection, anchored in gratitude, strengthens closure and prepares teams for what comes next. Expressing gratitude to teams in meaningful ways. Gratitude only works when it feels genuine and intentional. Generic praise can feel empty, especially in an industry where people are deeply invested in their work. Understanding how people receive gratitude. Not everyone experiences appreciation the same way. Some value public recognition. Others prefer private acknowledgement. Some appreciate written notes. Others value verbal feedback or opportunities for growth. Effective leaders pay attention to how individuals respond to appreciation. What meaningful gratitude looks like. Meaningful gratitude is timely, specific, sincere, proportional, thoughtful. Does not need to be expensive or elaborate. It needs to be real. Common gratitude mistakes to avoid. Only thanking people after successes. Thanking teams but ignoring individuals. Using gratitude to soften bad news without sincerity. Overusing generic phrases. Making gratitude transactional. Gratitude should never feel like manipulation. Actionable steps for expressing gratitude well. Write personal thank you messages. A short, thoughtful note can have a lasting impact. Call out specific contributions in meetings. Highlight behaviors you want to see more of. Celebrate collective effort. Recognize team milestones, not just individual heroics. Tie gratitude to values. Show how contributions reflect studio values. Avoid saving all gratitude for the end. Appreciation is more powerful when it is timely. When people feel genuinely appreciated, they carry that energy forward into future work. Carrying gratitude into the year ahead. Gratitude should not stop with reflection. It should shape how leaders approach the year ahead. Gratitude influences how we set goals, how we communicate expectations, and how we support our teams. Gratitude as a leadership compass. When leaders lead with gratitude, they make more humane decisions. They communicate with empathy. They recognize effort during difficulty. They remain grounded during success. Gratitude keeps leadership connected to people, not just plans. Setting intentions rooted in appreciation. As you plan for the next year, gratitude can inform your leadership intentions. Consider how appreciation can be woven into your goals, not added later. Actionable steps to carry gratitude forward. Set a leadership intention around appreciation. Decide how you will express gratitude more consistently. Create rituals of recognition. Monthly shoutouts, weekly acknowledgments, or end of sprint appreciation. Build gratitude into one-on-ones. Make appreciation part of regular conversations. Lead with humility. Acknowledge the support you receive as a leader. Protect team health as an act of gratitude. Sustainable work is a form of appreciation. Gratitude in the year ahead becomes a stabilizing force in an unpredictable industry. Gratitude during hard times and difficult decisions. Gratitude matters most when things are difficult. During layoffs, delays, restructures, or cancellations, leaders may feel that gratitude is inappropriate or insufficient. In reality, it is essential. Gratitude does not minimize hardship, it preserves dignity. Why gratitude still matters in tough moments. During difficult decisions, people want honesty, respect, and acknowledgement. Gratitude helps leaders communicate care even when outcomes are painful. You can be grateful for effort given even when projects end, professionalism during uncertainty, contributions that will not see release, time and energy invested. Gratitude reminds people that their work mattered, even if circumstances changed. Actionable steps for gratitude in difficult situations. Acknowledge effort explicitly. Do not let hard news erase recognition. Separate appreciation from outcomes. Effort deserves thanks regardless of results. Communicate with empathy. Gratitude should be sincere, not a shield. Honor contributions publicly when appropriate. Preserve pride and respect. Reflect on leadership responsibility. Gratitude includes owning difficult decisions. Even in hardship, gratitude can maintain trust and humanity. My final thoughts. Gratitude as the foundation of sustainable leadership. Gratitude is not a seasonal trend or leadership accessory. It is a foundation. It reminds teams that their work, effort, and presence matter. It reminds leaders that success is never achieved alone. As the year comes to a close, gratitude offers a moment to pause, to reflect on what was built, to acknowledge who carried the weight, to recognize growth, resilience, and care. Looking ahead, gratitude becomes a guide. It shapes how we lead, how we speak, and how we decide. It helps build studios where people feel valued, not just utilized. Where creativity is supported, not drained. Where leadership is human, not distant. There's one habit worth carrying into the year ahead. It is this: say thank you more often, more intentionally, and more sincerely. Not because it's polite, not because it's seasonal, but because it is how strong leadership sustains strong teams. All right, and that's this week's episode of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for being awesome.
Oh, hi. Man, the episode's over, but thanks for sticking around till the end. Be sure to check out more episodes in the playlist and new episodes every week on Monday. Follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave a review. Thanks again for being awesome.